Coach Sullivan here again with MGS Coaching Football. To my subscribers, I thank you. Non-subscribers, I'm really hoping to tease you into pushing that button. This past fall, I completed my 38th year coaching football and as a defensive coordinator. But over that time, I've also been an offensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, longtime head coach, and all of this at both the collegiate and high school levels. In this presentation, I want to talk to you about one of our prisoner games that we call W. And so, yes, subscribers on the Rover side, it's going to be the U. And we're going to execute a U on the other side as well, hence W. So we're going to take one pistol game and run it on both sides. And therefore, we create the prisoner game, which means 4 defenders are involved in rushing the passer. Okay, this is one of the ways in R3-4 that we get a 4th rusher without blitzing a 2nd or 3rd level defender. Okay, so over here are the key terms to better help you understand the assignments and how we teach the execution of W, included how we determine which side the lucky ring goes on. Then over here in the diagrams, I have an odd front example. It's our base 3-4 front we run the most. Everything stems from this. And then down here, one of our even fronts, just to show you a key coaching point that I'll get to when we're in the diagram portion of the presentation. Okay? So over here, the first key term itself is W. It is a prisoner game with 2 penetrators and 2 loopers, 1 on each side. So you'll notice first, second, right? First, second. So penetrate is first, looper is second. So how we determine where the lucky Ringo is to the rover. Because in order for it to be a prisoner game, okay, the rover's involved. Has to be, for us. Okay? So in this odd front, the rover's part of the front. In this even front, again, the rover's a part of the front, right? No tight end. Okay? Non-subscribers have to push the button. Okay? And so in a prisoner game, it's either to the rover or away from the rover. Okay? Boom, done. And the rover knows who he is, so all right, makes it even simpler to make the call. So the defensive end to the call, and in both cases, it's a Ringo. So this would be the U side. Remember, it's W, right? But this is the side of the rover. So that defensive end here, in this case, it's the Sud, is the penetrator. He is going to stab B gap, right? Meaning he's going to get vertically up the field into B gap, threatening the protection. So for the sake of discussion, this is a pass, okay? Everybody is in protection, okay? I'm not going to do anything with the guards yet, and then you'll learn why they're in red. So I'll even do the bottom one. And yes, both guards are still in red, okay? So attacking the protection, right? Getting vertical, threatening the set, and then loop for outside cage versus pass. Okay, now if he's got a chance to make the sack, he takes it. But otherwise, he's going to loop out for outside cage. Again, non-subscribers. Okay, so now the rover going second because he's the looper. Okay, pretty simple. He's going to take the hard outside step, trying to sell the speed rush. But all the while, he's looping behind the defensive end, and he is going to read the guard, hence why the guard's in red. We just tell him, look, simple. B gap, unless. And the unless is the guard's facing you, now you're going to go butt side into the A gap. The guard's facing away, stay butt side, but stay in the B gap. So just to be able to play fast with the feet, you got to make it so they play fast here. We say you're in B gap unless the guard's facing you. Okay? Boom, done. Okay, so that's the rover U side. The opposite side, and this is why the nose is circled in red. Okay, the nose is the only one here because in mix it, he's sticking B gap, right? The nose, and the defensive end, in mix it, the me, and on a U, defensive end does the same thing. It's the nose is the only one who's a little bit different. Okay, subscribers, non-subscribers, this should all be different. Push the button. So what the nose does is, okay, he's going to stab B gap also, right? It's a W. He's stabbing B gap. This penetrator stabbing B gap. Okay? And again, once he stabs B gap, getting vertical, threatening the pass set, he's going to loop for outside cage unless he has a chance for the sack. Okay? So this is a U game down here, right? Double U. Okay? And the key is he's stabbing B gap opposite the call. So if it's a Ringo, it's left, right? Lucky would be right. Okay? And so the defensive end does the exact same thing as the rover. So it's the hard outside rush, loop in behind the nose, B gap unless the guard's facing you, then you're going to be an A gap. Okay? So now over here, let's bring this all to life. Okay? Stabbing, right? Getting vertical, looping for outside cage. We'll do the looper in blue. Hard upfield like you're selling the speed. Looping behind into B gap. Unless if the guard's facing you, get up into the A gap, right? There it is. So now here's the difference. I'm going to do this in black. The nose, right? It's technically he's sticking because he's going the B gap, but it's not the same. Okay? Instead of staying lateral on the stick, he is gaining ground as he's working upfield to stab the B gap. So the footwork's not the same. Okay, it's not the same. So we tell him just run yourself into the B gap through the outside of the guard. Okay, if you don't do that, then they're going to execute the stick and they can't stab it. They can't get vertical. So we don't want to go lateral, then vertical. We want to gain ground from the snap. Okay? And so as he does that, right, more often than not in the odd front, and even in our even front, the tackle's looking out to the C gap. More often than not, we don't get full slide. For the tackle to be looking into B gap, it would be man or a full slide protection. We don't see that. Okay? So if the guard, if the guard we're looking into the A gap, chances are very good that nose is unblocked. So just like the defensive end on the side of the call, you're stabbing the B gap, and if you got a chance for the sack, you take it. Okay, and so yeah, that would mean we would have two guys in the B gap there. So what? If he does in the nose, that is, doesn't have a chance for the sack, then he's an outside cage, and so it's like a little exchange in the backfield, like you go, right, subscribers? That's all. And if the guard gets occupied with the nose who's stabbing the B gap, now that puts an awful lot of pressure here. You have the potential for double A gaps. What's the center do, right? So this is a beautiful thing. These guys, as we like to say, it's hard for them to be right because we're reading them. Not the center, obviously, but we're reading the guard. It's hard for them to be right. So my coaching point down here, as is our coaching point with our players, W is W, guys. You're stabbing B gap, no matter what. You're stabbing B gap. Sell it hard outside, B gap unless. Sell it hard at B. Nothing changes. The coaching point is, okay, different starting point, same ending point. You started as a 4 technique here, you're a 3 technique here. You stab B gap either way. You're a 4, you're a 5. You're a 0, you're a 1. You're out 8 technique in a tight end. You're a 5 technique in a tackle. Starting off in a different place, you end up in the same place. That's the coaching point. So whatever your base is, whatever is your favorite front, everything emanates from it. Teach everything from that first, and then spoon feed in different fronts with that coaching point. Different start, same end. Different start, same end. Okay, so now here it is, right? He's there, you're there. It's even easier from a one shade, right? Gaining ground. Just it's different starting point, because there are some offenses that may not think you're going to do it because you're in a different front. Okay, well, little do they know. Okay? So as I said at the beginning, to my subscribers, I thank you. Non-subscribers, I'm really hoping I tease you into it. To everybody, I hope you'll reach out to me at CoachMJSullivan@gmail.com. Love to talk football with you. I want to thank you for watching MJS Coaching Football, and I want to thank YouTube for providing this platform.